Right, welcome back to Worthing Watersports. There is a random object in the room. It's not really a random object, it's just a cardboard box. But what's exciting is what's inside it. So a lot of you can probably guess because there's been a leak. And if you don't know what a leek is, it's a vegetable. Is it a vegetable? I think it's a vegetable. A root vegetable. But anyway, there was a leak. And yes, there are new Fanatic 2023 Skywings, not Skywings, but foil wing boards coming out. And this is one of them. I am waiting on another model, two models, because there are three new ones coming out. There's a wave, there's a style, freestyle, and there's a free ride, which is basically the team edition version of the dark purple one that's behind me, which is the very popular one, and the team edition which currently exists will no longer exist. So if you've got one of those, that's special edition. And limited now, so maybe it's gone up in value. Yeah, just want to do a quick unboxing and do a bit of weight check and see what the shape is all about, because I'm very excited because the kit has just been getting better and better, and like all parts of wing foiling and foiling, it's just progressing at such a speed, isn't it? So and it's exciting to be on it and be at the beginning of it, and yeah, really excited about this. Footstraps, of course. What colour is it? What colour do you think it is? I know what colour it is. Whew. That was a tight fit. So what I've done is I've got a couple of these sizes here now. I've got the 4.9, which is slightly smaller than what I'm currently using, and this baby is the 4.11. So, the 4.11 is basically the same weight, same literage as my 5 foot, which I'm currently using the most, and pretty much the only board I'm using really. I quite like having the extra volume. I should probably be on a slightly smaller board, but when I'm doing downwinders from Worthing to Brighton, I just want to have that little bit of extra volume to be able to get back. Basically, if there's any issues, the wind can change quite considerably on the south coast, especially as we're riding a lot of sea breezes in the summer. I just prefer to be able to just be buoyant, so I'm about 73, 72, 74 kilos. I just want positive buoyancy when I'm doing those downwinders. So yeah, I found that the 5 foot has been my dream board at the moment. But I have used the 4.8 in the current construction and current shapes. I just found, unless it was really guaranteed windy, it just sank, and I found it very frustrating getting back on the board. But I've bitten the bullet, is that the right way to say it? And yeah, this one's the same size. This is going to be my play it safe board, you know, when the wind's a bit lighty, and we get a lot of northeasterlies at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but it means when it's gusty conditions I can still get out and really enjoy myself, because we all know winging fills a lot of those gaps, especially when it's gusty. And then I've actually got the smaller one, so I've got the 4, this is the 4.11, I've got the 4.9, which is the 4.9 is 65 litres, so only 10 litres smaller. There's also a 4.7 in this shape, the Sky style, which is 55. And there is actually a bigger one of these. So there's a 5.1, which is 85 litres. There's also, I'll put it on the video, but there's also the Sky 3, which like I said is a similar sort of design to these two, but comes in the carbon construction, which this one is. So it's the lightweight, stiffer, stronger construction, much similar to the windsurfing boards that a lot of us are used to, unless you're from a kite surfing background. But yeah, that's why the price of these is going to be up quite a bit more than what we're used to. Yeah, but I've also ordered, I think I ordered the 4.6. So there's a Sky Surf, which hasn't arrived yet, but is the red one, which is coming out. So they're going to be, dedicated wave boards, and for much smaller riders. So there's a junior sort of, not a junior, but a small person sort of board, which is a 4.2, which is only 25 litres, which is crazy because that's basically the size of a large directional kite board, or a large kite surfing foil board. So it's absolutely tiny and would need to be goddamn windy to be using that. But yeah, I've got the 4.6, which is going to be a massive learning curve for me. Quite excited to do, but here in the choppy stuff we get in Shoreham and Worthing, I think I'm going to have a few sessions where I'm struggling. But once I'm up, I hope I get to the point where I can do a downwinder to Brighton or something like that, because it's going to be pretty good fun once you're on a wave. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the Sky Style. Obviously haven't used it yet, it's just come in the shop. Been wanting to get out of the box and but I've been really busy. Want to get the foot straps on it, but I wanted to do the unboxing video to show you guys, from the get-go what this board is, how much it weighs compared to these boards. And yeah, I can't obviously show the construction without cutting it open. I really don't want to do that. But yeah, there's a bit of information on here. So the name says it all. So this is the Sky Style Team Edition. These models are designed to evolve your style, whether in the air or on the surf. Pushing your wing game has never been so easy. Available in 4 sizes, designed to maximise stability when starting and landing tricks. So that's the point of the dome deck, and a bit more volume in the nose. The higher rocker line of the Sky Style generates and improves turning response through increased leverage over the pitch of your foil. Also having the lower deck means you've got a little bit less swing weight because you're closer to that foil. So you're not standing up, you're not above the board, basically you're lower, which has helped, physics. We all love a bit of physics. But yeah, there's a nice little image on here showing the rocker line and how that's going to sit on the water, which I'll try and put a screenshot in the video and overlay on the top. But yeah, this is meant to be the board that will help introduce people onto smaller sizes. Obviously the red one, the wave one's tiny, and for people who have good conditions for that or have loads of experience and pretty advanced with their winging already, I think this is going to be the stepping stone from the free ridey orientated ones of these, and then it'll be this, and then it'll be the wave one. But I think this is going to be pretty much this and the slightly smaller one are going to be my go-to boards for the sort of south coast. High volume nose section for great stability and starts, landings and balance sinking, greater leverage on the foil, maximum pop for takeoff, sharp release edges in the tail section for early takeoff, and uninterrupted glide and landings and touchdowns. Obviously footstep inserts. They've actually gone for footstrap inserts for double front straps, single diagonal front foot straps, or straight single front foot straps. Double screws for back strap. Okay, I was getting a bit confused there. With the windsurfing boards, they've done this on the rear strap to stop them from twisting. So there's a double screw on the front screw and a double on the back screw, so that basically when you're jibing, tacking, turning around, and you're switching basically your feet, so you're going from one tack to the other tack, the foot strap doesn't turn in on itself, which used to be a really annoying problem with windsurfing boards, and you'd end up with one side being basically your primary side, and then you'd go around the other side, chuck your foot in, and it'll rub and knock the side of your foot off. Obviously when you're using your front feet, that's not necessary, so they can keep the weight down. They just have a single screw because you're always putting your foot in at the same sort of angle when you're on those tacks. But yeah, it's really good that Fanatic have started doing that across, seems like a lot of their boards, the windsurfing boards and the foiling wing boards. Yeah, just stops that back foot from twisting. I really like that feature. They've added it in the last I think they added it this year actually on the windsurfing boards, and the newer Skywing boards, they had it, and the Team Edition also had it as well. Full deck pad to help you obviously don't rub your knees. Everyone's getting sore knees at the moment. My shins are so bruised. It's just how it is though. So no compromise carbon PVC sandwich construction. But yeah, I will carbon PVC sandwich construction. Exactly what we custom build for our most demanding team riders to guarantee the best performance and light construction that withstands the landings of their incredible jumping variations. So basically, yeah, it's a harder construction in terms of it's stronger. But yeah, have a look at the shape a little bit. So I would actually say the rear, from what I used to seeing when I pull it in and out the van of my current board, I would say the rear isn't too dissimilar. Fairly flat, sharp back rail, nice release. Because on the earlier board, was it darker red? I think it was a bit more dark red. Had a really deep concave as the first Skywing. And we all thought it was a good board, but once we moved on to the next one, we realised actually the flatter deck actually made it a lot better release. So yeah, they've obviously stuck with that because they're happy with that shape. There's only one handle, so wow, that's actually light. I can tell already that's light. Yeah, so the handle's on the bottom, so that's obviously to help you get in the water. So you have the board and the foil on one side, and then your wing on the other side when you're carrying it in the water. It doesn't have the handle on the deck, which will make it a little bit more awkward maybe getting in and out of the van, but it's mainly weight saving and strength that will obviously help there by not having that. I'm trying to think what else. The main difference really is that dome deck. The rest of it, in terms of shape, apart from construction, which is obviously quite different, it's actually not too dissimilar. You could lay the two on top of each other. Again, this is a 5 foot, so this is a bit bigger. Yeah, I've had a bit of a repair on the back of my board because I smashed it. They've pulled the tail in. I'm going to maybe grab the camera in a second. They've definitely pulled the tail in. So the pink one, the original board, the 2022 board, is wider at the tail than the yellow one, which is actually brought in. But the rest of it, the nose again, they brought in the nose a little bit. I would say that the pink one has a flatter top. Obviously that's got the dome deck, but actually even though it's not just the dome deck, the top of it, this is much flatter, whereas the yellow one is domed. And the foot pads come slightly further forward. Both got the tail kick, which helps you. They're very similar. No, so I would say the 411, the new one, is actually thicker. So yeah, similar. They obviously got to compensate somewhere. So similar volume. Well, technically on the side of it, it says it's the same volume. So 75 litres, 5 foot, 411. So they've lost an inch off the nose, but they kept the same volume. And they chopped actually a bit off the tail. So they basically put more volume directly under where your feet are, which makes sense because it's not a windsurfing board. The pressure isn't at the front of the thing. It's right underneath your feet where the foil is. So I think that makes a lot of sense really. But yeah, we've got a bit of wind tomorrow. I'm hoping to get out tomorrow on it, so I'll try and get some footage. Don't think I'm going to be able to add it to this video, but I'll try and add it to the end of the video. But yeah, we should try and do a weigh-in, because that's probably what a lot of people are interested in. Even though I'd say probably durability and strength when you're learning tricks and doing tricks is probably a bit more important than weight, but we should do it anyway, just to be honest and see where we're at. Oh, I've got a handle. No handle. That's a bit odd on the top. So these are the scales I use in the shop for packaging up our online orders. So I find they're fairly accurate. They're definitely sensitive, they definitely go to the right weight, but they can just sometimes fluctuate a little bit. So also, like I said, this board's had a bit of damage. The tail has been repaired, so I think it might be slightly heavier than it should be. And the foot straps are probably a bit damp, even though I haven't been out recently. It's also got the bolts in, so I've got the foil bolts in. So my current board is 6, but it's almost basically, yeah, it's 0.2 of a gram off 7 kilos. So my board's basically 7 kilos. I've also got rail protectors, which I've custom made and put on there to stop me scratching it when I'm coming in out of the water on the shingles at Shoreham and Worthing. So yeah, that will add a tiny bit. They're fairly thick rail protectors, just to protect the board. So that will be adding a bit of weight. And like I said, it's damp. So yeah, so 6, just under 7 kilos. The Team Edition, which, yeah, did change construction than what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a lot lighter. That's 6, just over 6. So we've lost 0.8 of a kilo. Obviously we haven't got foot straps on there. So that's basically half a kilo. I would say that's about half a kilo lighter than, so 6,580 grams. So that's 6 kilos, 580 grams, but that's obviously dry. So yeah, they were not as big a difference as they were meant to be. And then the new yellow 2023 Sky Style. We on 0? We're on 0. 6 kilos and 80 grams by itself, which, yeah, when we say that was almost 7. 6.5, so it's very similar to the current Team Edition. 6.5 kilos, so yeah, but it's stronger for sure because it's got the carbon layup inside it, which again, like I said, I can't really show you without cutting it open, but maybe when Fanatic release it, which they haven't at this point because this is the day before release, there's not a huge amount of information. Hopefully on their website there will be, you know, a proper diagram with the construction so you guys know what's inside it. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully it's a bit of wind tomorrow. It's going to be fairly light. But yeah, I'm riding this just so you guys are aware. I'm using the SLS slicks now. I've moved on from the original slicks, which I really liked. I thought they were really good all-round wings. I like the boom because obviously I'm coming back from windsurfing background. But yeah, the SLX slicks are just the next step, aren't they, really? Like combination between the unit shape and the original slick, and then they've got the boom. I find they're just, with the rigid locked in boom, I can get going on my 4 meter in just such light winds, and I prefer being on a smaller wing. I like, yeah, just having that bit of power to get myself up on the foil. But I'm using the Duotone Fanatic Collab Mast, which is the lightest foil, which I did a video. Did I do a video about the collab? Yeah, I think the collab was in that video. I did that Nerd Alert video doing the weigh-in of the aluminium, the normal carbon and the collab mast and fuselage, because they all use the same front and rear wing. So if you ever want to upgrade your mast and fuselage to go lighter, they do. So since that video I've used that. All I'm using is the collab Duotone Fanatic mast and fuselage with, I'm now using the Carve 1150 basically as my go-to. I've got the 1250 Aero 3 as my lighter wind foil, which I haven't had a chance to use. Been so bloody busy in the shop, which is good. But yeah, we're just coming at the end of summer, and I just can't wait for this winter, really. A bit quieter in the shop and more time to get on the water and hopefully sail with some of you guys. Yeah, I hope this was enough information for you. Price. The one we've all been waiting for. The one we all love to talk about as well. Yeah, so good news is they are still staying. So we still have the original option from Fanatic, which we just proved isn't actually that much heavier, but it's mainly the construction. So if you're getting into foiling, you don't know exactly what foil board, what size you are, which is always the biggest problem at the moment with trying to help people buy a board, is what size to get. And we all know that you move down in sizes as you get better because you want less underneath your feet, you want more manoeuvrability. I started off on the 5.6, which was about 10-15 litres over my weight. Most people I recommend go 20 litres over their weight. So I went for the 5.4. 5.4 was for me. I had a couple of goes on a massive board. 5.4. I then went down to the 5.2, which I only recently changed to the 5 foot this year, and I've been doing it almost 3 years now. So about a year on a board, I've basically got out of it. But generally, until you're going down to the really tiny sizes, in the second-hand market, those sort of middle sizes and even the bigger ones, we're getting through them quite quickly in the shop. So I wouldn't. People are trying to cut corners and go for inflatable boards. I'm generally finding, I've used a couple of inflatable boards, they make it a lot harder. It's like buying a cheap paddle board and a really good paddle board. Even though you want to not spend too much at the beginning, I would always recommend you go for a hard board, because you're going to get way more direct response from the foil when you're learning. And I just can't stress enough how important that is, especially if you haven't foiled before. I came from a windsurfing foiling background, so I already knew what it feels like, but there's nothing worse than coming up on the foil and then the board giving you, movement. It just makes it harder for you to learn. There's less direct response between what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing, what the water's making the board do, and it all just becomes a bit confusing. So I would recommend, sorry, I'm waffling on. I would recommend you go for a bigger, the cheaper construction board to start off with, and then once you've maybe done it for a year or so, or you already know what size you are, you can start thinking about these team edition boards that are going to be more expensive, obviously, because of the construction. Like I said, they're much more like the windsurfing boards from Fanatic. They've got the carbon inside them, but I can't specifically tell you exactly what they're like because I can't tell you or see what's inside. So this one and the free ride board, so the Sky Free Team Edition, which is the carbon version of those, will be 1,899, so almost 1,900, whereas the bigger sizes of these was 1,250, 1,249 technically as the RRP. These are still the same sort of size, so they go up in price because they're carbon, so 1,900, and then the Sky Surf, the red one, which is the tiny little wave orientated one, is 1,700, so £200 difference because they're generally much smaller sizes. So 4.2 up to 4.6 is the Sky Surf, 4.7 up to 5.1 is the Sky Style, and then 5.3 to 5.5 is the Sky Free, which I haven't got here, which is the new version, almost the new version of that Mint Team Edition. And then you've got 4.6 to 6.3 on the original Skywing, which is going to carry on for 2023, which I think is a really good move from Fanatic. I think it gives, customers more range and more options, keeps that. You can carry on working your way down your sizes until you figure out exactly what size you want, and then you can basically figure out what kind of style you're going into. If you're generally on flat water, you might be this or the free ride one, and then you've got obviously the wave one for the people that really want to give those tiny boards a go and start being super playful on the swell and on the breaking waves. I hope I haven't missed anything. I hope I did enough. I'll quickly grab the camera and do some close-ups and show you around the board. We'll also do the weigh-in again, which is going to have stopped. Yep, that's going to have stopped. I'll do that in a second. But any questions, you can leave comments. It gives me an email, so hopefully I'll get back to you. But we're always at the end of a phone, so you can call us up at the shop. Obviously Worthing Watersports, and we've got an online website, so these boards should be on the website. We're hoping to have a few of these sizes in stock, and we'll keep them in stock. So if one sells, we'll order another one in, which is what we've been doing with the Skywings. They should be here to click and collect, basically, if there's anything you want. We've also got the stock and the full range of the foils. So I've got lots of aluminium foils in. We've run out of carbon at the moment. They keep going. We've got front wings, rear wings. We've got aero frees. We've got carbs. I think I've got, is it the 800, the 900 carb, the 1150 carb in stock. And then I've got the aero free 1250 and the 1000. And I think I've got one of the 800s left, I think. But like I said, I'll try and keep one of everything in stock and be turning that over. We've also just added on our website the second-hand part of our website, which is quite cool. Unfortunately, my 5 foot is already sold to a friend that's been working his way down sizes, and he really wants my board. But we've still got pretty much the whole range of the Skywings anyway, including that one, which is the Team Edition 5 foot. So it's basically the same board, brand new, lighter construction, and I think I prefer the colour a little bit. The mint's pretty cool. It's a really nice colour. Everyone loves it when they come in and shop. But yeah, I hope that was a lot of information. Probably a bit too much information, but yeah, I hope that helped. See you on the water, and I'll send you some videos soon. So it's not like a major drop deck there, but it's just going to generally make you feel like you're in more control. There's also, what you might not be able to see on the camera, is there's actually quite a big dome on that part of the deck, which the original one didn't have. Did it? I think it did a bit around the tail. Yeah, it did. It did have a little bit, but it's accentuated. It's definitely, maybe you can show it that way, it's definitely more on this board. I might have to nickname it the banana. You've still got the option for a vertical front strap, which I can't really get my head around. Maybe on the really small sizes, a vertical strap would be pretty cool, but I personally prefer the V and then a single back strap.